Okay, so I am starting the logs again. Um, Doing much of anything is very difficult, to be frank. Um, I've mainly just been reading and just distracting myself, just kind of waiting things out, grinding things out. But I really can't take not producing anything much longer, and I think it's a good sign because it shows my brain is getting less numbed out, more like myself. So I'm gonna try starting the logs. Not try, I will do one every day, video and article. Before the article will be different than the video. I don't quite know. I don't think I'll do that this time. I think it'll be more of a simple article and focus on the video. So we'll see what happens. But so there are two things I want to do with these videos, or I guess you could say three. The first is obviously log these for people that are really suffering, that are really dealing with chronic illness or something along those lines. Basically, exactly what I would want to see for inspiration, and inspiration while being real, you know. Uh, just like making videos I would obsess over back in the day. I desperately wanted to see someone deal with such severe illness and all the things that come with it. Literally almost died many times. It's a miracle I'm alive, thank God. And then get out of it. To have that documentation will be powerful. The second thing is, you know, I like to shift people's perspectives a bit. Um, so in my mind works a bit different. You know, I don't know if you notice. You know, I'm a little bit. I'm me. You know, so I just want to add some like basic things like that kind of flow through my mind, and you know, I know that most people watch these videos know me. You know, even at you know, former mentors, just entrepreneurs in general I talk to, friends, family. Um, so I try to also keep it conversational with those people in mind, and yeah, you know, just things endlessly swirl through my mind day to day, not as much as they used to, when I not going through this withdrawal and surgery recovery, etc., etc. But that's what I want to do, and I want to just keep trying to become more coherent on camera, because video, articulating my thoughts in general is of course an incredible skill. I'm much better in real life, but still need some improvement. uh I've always been someone who didn't say much, and it's just my brain. Sometimes I don't provide proper context, and I know I have an interesting perspective and things to share, because when I get it right, people really do change, and they really do value talking to me. Um, you know, I'm trying to be humble, but humble and ambitious are not, you know, they both can coincide. So, I'm trying to think. Well, I guess I covered 2 and 3 back there in one point. Okay, so I'm having so health in a little bit of my mind in the stream of consciousness format. I'm very excited to start these. Obviously, I cannot believe that I'm here. I really think I didn't think I would do another log again, and I'll get into that. But and I will do long form videos where I actually do a landscape and do some jump cuts, write it out. Uh, so again, today I have been having, when you have an ileostomy, it comes with a lot of stuff, and it takes a lot of trial and error as well. Um, Mine is particularly difficult because of all the other surgeries I had. Um, there are numerous uh, reasons, but the most blatant is that the stuff that has to stick to my skin is right on the incision site that goes straight through my abdomen. I had laparoscopic surgery. God, I hope I got that right. Robotic surgery. So I didn't have that scar through the middle, but unfortunately, I had to have intense emergency surgery, and they cut me open. I mean, multiple times. They would have cut me open multiple times, but that was when I first got it. But so today I go in there, and it was kind of a positive and negative because I know how extremely painful the skin issues can be, and it's like once you get there, you're playing catch up, and it's like you're in weeks of intense, quite that pain. And I was worried that was happening, but it wasn't. That wasn't even the case. It was just the incision itself, rather than the skin. It's like on the line of getting infected. Hopefully it won't. I'm gonna put antibiotic ointment on it. I think it'll be okay. But I find myself in a really humorous situation. If you would look at me, I don't know. I'm not gonna show it, but like they literally have it cut out. I mean, how do I describe this? It's just like a sticker where the bag stick whatever, and it's impossible to avoid putting on my scars right to the left of the scar. They're going down the center. So we had to do this like elaborate, like cartoonish, like scheme. Then the ostomy nurse concocted to deal with this somewhat unique situation. So I can get that scar to heal. So like I have a tiny one and it's cut out, and then we got another like you can call it a wing, like this like tape going over it, but not around it. And then we got gauze, and then we have basically a hernia belt, and it's kind of funny, and really appreciate having that woman. She's great. She's so thorough. She really tries. So that's what happened today medically. I really don't like to talk about ileostomy. I guess the one point is, it does reduce your quality of life. I knew that because I had one for about years ago. I know it decreases your quality of life, and I would highly recommend not getting one. And that's why I just strongly advise follow my protocol, which I promise is actually going to come next few months. It's almost done. Just my brain's just dead. But and I've been waiting to put it out. So that's the other thing. I run through this protocol before even starting these logs, and it's helped dramatically. I'm basically like 30 pounds almost heavier than when I started it. I was really pregnant, still bloated. It's just in the state I've been in. It's gonna take time to heal, quite a bit of time. But it does work when you don't have chronic urinary tract infections, and it does work. I hope remains of BC, and that's part of the log, but in a severely denuded gut. So, what was I talking about? Well, that was my day. I have other thing too with the ostomy is blockages, pain, whatever. Like I said, I had one a few days ago. I don't feel like. I'm just saying generally. I don't feel like talking about it much. But there's that, and that was a little funny today, and I was relieved to a degree that like the skin around the stoma itself, the stoma is imperfect. Just unfortunately, when I was in the hospital and the stoma nurses came to me and they really didn't know what to do. They're like, we have to put this over this incision, but it's not supposed to go over that. So I got all this weeping skin and all this stuff, and it looked quite bad, and it's probably not as bad as I thought. But yeah, this is gonna be some more experimentation. So let me tell you something else, right? Let me preface it with this, because this is actually very important. And like I said, this is an important perspective I'm providing. You're welcome. I know I'm so generous. No, but so the 3 dystopian novels, right? They're not overrated. Fahrenheit, not as good as the other one, but it's still a vital part of it. And I hadn't even read that until recently, like a couple of years ago or something. I mean, it's like such a short, easy read. Nowhere close as complex as the other ones. Nowhere close. But I'm gonna reread them. But I've only read them once. I was in like 7th grade, I think. They weren't prescribed by the school, of course. Read myself. Sometimes I would go an entire month with thinking about those at a daily basis, or one of them on a daily basis, right? They're that important. So I mean, well, you have to read them, but more importantly, you have to understand what you read. It's yeah, they're both very complex. Yeah. So I preface to say that read the books if you haven't. If you have, or if you're familiar generally with this concept, it's a doublethink. In 1984, I can't remember the villain's name. He's basically a very intense version of doublethink, where the guy is basically a genius. So obviously, logically, he realized this and that is wrong, etc., etc., but he's able to hold 2 things at once, where it's like he can hold that this is how things should do, and he's like a firm believer in evil, but the other part, at the same time, he thinks that it's not bad. Something like that. I've read it since 7th grade. Point is, that's where it's most famous from that book. That's where the term was coined. Of course, this was discussed, I mean, since the advent of, human, any type of psychological discussion, because it is an essential part of being human. And what I was thinking about the other day is just how it's almost always used with a negative connotation, doublethink. But if you are aware of it, it can be, well, first off, it's essential as a human being to have some form of it. That's why it's in us. It's a essential psychological process. Now, unfortunately, it can really be used for evil. It can really mess you up. That's the bad of it. Like I said, in 1984, it shows the bad of it. But if used properly, it can be very good. And the best way is to be fully aware of your doublethink. Now, here's a good example. What's the guy's name? The big business guy kind of died out. Well, whatever. Even it's been said by multiple leaders I've seen for years, typically in a more masculine space, everything is your fault. Now, if you to ascribe to that idea, clearly it is not true, right? There is truth in it, but of course it's not true. However, this is why I just use this simple example. If you do ascribe to that idea fully, your life will get significantly better. You will take control over your life, and you will stop, whine less, and stop feeling bad for you, type of thing. Now, of course, when I hear something like that, I know it's not fully true. But I also know the points I just mentioned. So that's where the double think comes in. When I fully believe that in day-to-day life, but I know another part of my brain is questioning it. Now, this is something that can go awry. So it's important to know yourself. It's important to all of these things about self-actualization within yourself can be dangerous, but also can be very life-changing. So that was just one thing that's been going in my head. And so, like I said, I'm gonna drop some things like that, and like I said, practice in the camera. And of course, I really appreciate all you guys watching. It's just such a blessing to be able to start this. Fortunately, gonna see me, it's very difficult every day, and but I'm blessed, of course. And let me just say one last thing. I just it saddens me that my having to go through this benzo withdrawal, that my emotions are kind of numbed out, because to be frank, I'm just like feeling horribly depressed and obviously anxious, but depressed every day. And it's just like I know myself enough to know that I would be ecstatic, but this stuff is numbing out, and it's like I've been tapering off this stuff for a while, staying on the same dose because insane stuff was going on. I couldn't add, well, I could, but didn't want to masochistically, keep going through withdrawal. So, and it's a very long process for anyone that's been on this stuff for years. So I just wanted to point that out. It came to my mind, and I'll end on that. I say really, really appreciate everyone that listens. I mean, the fact anyone that browses this, like I truly appreciate it. And if someone one day stumbles upon this when they're, at their lowest, having severe autoimmune disease, may even be literally dying as I was, and then they get the motivation, see, oh, well, maybe this will work. Maybe let me try this, and don't know if that will happen, but I'm trying my best to get it out there. So even though I look pretty dumb a lot of the time, but don't care. Much love.